Hello class, this is Chris Payne and this is my public service announcement for Leptospira. Leptospirosis is a waterborne bacterial illness that can affect both people and animals. Leptospira is transmitted through zoonosis, which is basically uh, animal to human transmission. It can have a wide range of symptoms in people, some of which may be confused for those of other illnesses. However, some infected people might not even exhibit any symptoms from this bacterial infection. The main route of exposure for leptospirosis is usually transmitted from sick animals from their urine, which can enter the water and soil and persist there for several weeks to months. The bacterium is carried by many different species of wild animals and domesticated animals. Transmission from animals through zoonosis. Contact with an infected animal's urine or bodily fluids, excluding saliva, contact with food, soil, or water that has been tainted by the animal's infected urine. Or when the skin is broken by a cut or scratch, the germs might enter the body through the skin or mucous membranes, eyes, nose, or mouth. An infection can also result from drinking polluted water. Leptospirosis outbreaks are typically brought on by contact with polluted water such as flooding and hurricanes. Transmission from person to person is uncommon. So you can see here that it starts from rodent carriers, contaminates the water and soil, transmitted to other animals, and then back through um, water and soil. Leptospirosis is very harmful to animals and humans alike. Leptospirosis can cause kidney damage, meningitis, liver failure, respiratory distress, and even death if left untreated. Meningitis is an infection of the membrane that surrounds the brain. So you can see here that once the animal is transmitted to the water and soil, it's then consumed by humans and then transmitted, and it can cause a variety of health impacts to humans, such as meningitis, myocarditis, which affects the heart, pulmonary hemorrhage syndrome, which can affects the lungs, and then renal dysfunction, which affects the kidneys. So diagnosis and treatment to protect human health, antibiotics such as are very crucial when it comes to treating these bacterial infections. Antibiotics such as dioxycycline and penicillin are used to treat leptospirosis and should be administered early on in the course of illness once detected. When a person's symptoms are more severe, intravenous antibiotics may be necessary. People who exhibit leptospirosis-like symptoms ought to get in touch with a medical professional. The effectiveness of antibiotics in treating leptospirosis has been debated for many years. Leptospira, with typical bacterial cell walls, ribosomes, and theoretically susceptible to various antibiotics. Currently, there are no FDA-approved drugs for the treatment of leptospirosis, although most antibiotics are designed as off-label treatment. A number of published studies support the use of a limited group of antibiotics that have been shown to be effective. Tetracycline has been known to reduce fever and symptoms, and it's ineffective in avoiding kidney and liver involvement. And penicillin is found to be the most effective antibiotic. It reduces the duration of fever and symptoms and was most effective when started within the first 4 days. You can see in the chart that these are a variety of antibiotics used to treat leptospirosis, and its frequency in treating leptospirosis. We have to treat the water um, for personal use and in treatment facilities. The water treatment process reduced the chances of leptospirosis and other microbial pathogens causing infections. Um, Water treatment using charcoal filters, boiling, straining, exposure to sunlight, and chemicals such as chlorine and iodine are highly effective, especially when used in combination. So in conclusion, leptospirosis occurs all over the world, especially in temperate or tropical climates. It is considered an occupational hazard for many people who work outdoors with animals, such as farmers, fish, and meat processing workers, miners, and sewer workers. Leptospirosis has also been associated with outdoor sports such as swimming, wading, kayaking, and rafting in contaminated lakes and rivers. High-risk activities also include care of pets, especially dogs, raising livestock, hunting, and trapping. It is important to be aware of waterborne illnesses such as leptospirosis, and understanding the sources of exposure can help us avoid the health impacts caused by bacterial infections. Proper water sanitation is key to avoid exposure to contaminated water. These are my sources.